What a beautiful, beautiful week this is, Ed. Can you even possibly imagine why this week, above any other week, could be just so grand?
Well, I'll just say this. It probably has something to do with the fact that we have 4 college conference championship games this weekend. But probably even more important, could it be that the college football playoff committee is setting the stage for Notre Dame to get hosed from the playoffs completely? We'll talk about it on the other end.
And that's the bottom line. You want a war? You're gonna get one.
The queen rise to the top, oh yeah.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
This is going to be, I'm anticipating this. This is going to be a very, very interesting college discussion. Would you agree?
I would absolutely agree. And there might even be one guy in the comment line that I would expect isn't probably too happy with what it's going to look like.
I mean, I would think, and I think we all know who we're talking about, that it's going to be, I've got a lot of scenarios played out here on paper, and I just don't see how it's going to work out for them. But we probably better save that for the big round table discussion, because I think everybody's going to have an opinion on that.
Yeah.
So let's bring on the boys. Chad, what's up, bud?
Not much. How we doing? Hope everybody had a great turkey day.
It was a good turkey day. Did the family all get home after the snowstorm that we had here?
Yeah. My son and his wife and the grandbaby left early. Unfortunately, my daughter left on Sunday after everything was kind of settled down. So everybody got home and safe.
That's the one thing about living here in Iowa. You know, I had some relatives that used to live in Seattle. Ed's sister and her family. And they would get a couple inches of snow, and it's like the whole city just shut down because the city of Seattle only had 2 snowplows. And none of those people knew how to drive in snow.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like they're flying around like normal and they're going all over the place. Where here, I mean, what'd you get? in Sioux City. I think we got 8 inches or something like that. It was quite a bit.
Probably something close. I don't know if we got quite that much, but
yeah, we got 8 inches, and by Sunday, I'm flying on the roads. They had the roads cleared off.
Really?
Drivable. Yeah.
Good.
You know, and I realize in Sioux City it gets a little packed, it gets all that kind of stuff.
Well,
in the city, but outside,
I work outside of town, and there's a disputed little strip that the county thinks that the city should clean, and the city thinks the county and it's this winding, 400-meter stretch that is just dangerous as hell, and neither one of them will plow it. It's like, and it's just year in and year out, and it's, what are we doing here, people?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, even St. Louis, we got 4 inches.
Geez, were you paralyzed?
4 inches, that's at least like this long, ain't it?
Agreed.
In your math it is, in your thought process it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Ed, do you still remember how to drive in the snow, Ed, or have you forgotten?
I didn't have to really worry about it because we didn't have anywhere we needed to go that day. But since we don't have a Taco John's that night, I had to take the car and head to Taco Bell. But since it was a snow day, nobody was on the road. So I went straight to the drive-thru, straight home, baby. Quickest turnaround you ever seen.
Yeah, my daughter and my niece went Friday shopping, and they said it sailed because nobody was out. So they had their run. Yeah. Which I thought was crazy. I was like, it didn't get that bad. What are we doing, people?
I mean, here's the deal. If it's not over a foot of snow, do we really have to shut things down? I mean,
no.
Hell, a foot of snow is not even going to get Eric out of his deer stand.
No. I should have put pictures on. You guys are all like, everybody's like, oh, God, I'm sitting in a deer stand. It's snowing on me. I'm watching football. I got my phone set in my bag. I'm up in the tree watching football, looking for deer. It was great. I mean, you just got to be tough when you're here. Now, a guy who would not be able to handle this is this guy right here.
It's a sharp hat, though. But
you want to come sit out in the snow with me, Brett? That is sharp.
No, I don't mind. Hey, I don't mind it, but I do mind getting on the road with a bunch of rednecks that have no idea how to drive in it. and plow is definitely a 4-letter word around here. We don't have no. We might have 2 sand trucks or whatever. Yeah, it snows here and it sticks on the road. It's shut down.
So when you said a bunch of rednecks that don't know how to drive, were you looking in the mirror when you said that?
Yes, I was looking right at myself in the screen. But now we know how to have fun in it and play in it. But when it goes to like driving around, you start seeing people going up and down the road, and you're like, this is not going to end well.
Oh, we get that around here too, Brett. I mean, you get people, you're just like, what were you thinking? They'll be in the median, and you're like, come on, man.
They go flying by it. They go flying by you on the interstate, and next thing you know, they're just coptering down the center of the interstate.
Yeah.
Flying, they go into a ditch.
The first thing I always look at is, what does the license plate look like? And if it is a local license plate, then you had it coming. Speaking of another guy that may or may not know what that kind of bad weather is, KJ, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all? Happy National Signing Day, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Oh, I see you got that in the background there, huh?
Yeah, I felt like it was worthwhile to bring my studious guest, Mr. Keyshawn Henderson here, man.
Does that jersey represent you got one recruit?
One recruit? Oh, no. If you got one recruit, my friend, you have not been paying attention to the draft board. I'll call it that.
The draft board.
Well, hey, I was talking to Eric earlier. Ed should be pretty happy. Iowa, top 25 recruiting class. Did y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only problem with that is now Coach Ferentz decided that he can coach another 10 years now that they actually recruited somebody.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah. He's just going to be like Matt Campbell. He's just going to start calling the plays, Ed.
Hey, Dan Campbell, not Matt
Dan Campbell, whatever. He's
Don't
not even
screw
worth.
that up. We,
I mean, poor old Dan.
we don't have any more time for this chit chat. We've got a lot of college football to go through, and it's gonna be interesting to say the least. And there's gonna be opinions, I'm sure, different opinions from all of us. And I'm sure there's going to be some different opinions from our chat line, and I certainly cannot wait for that. That will be fun. I hope he is. By he, I mean everybody knows. I hope he's on, so he can at least comment on this, because I think it's probably going to get really good. So I'm going to knock some of us off here. And I'm going to leave the two Big Ten guys up here, and Chad's going to go through his Big Ten rankings for the week, and we'll rotate through the rankings.
Well, I mean, it comes down to Indiana, Ohio State, which it's been most of the year. Nobody else is really necessary we're talking about. I guess Oregon or USC could possibly maybe sneak into the playoff, but it doesn't. I mean, Oregon, I guess, can, but I guess it just comes down to Indiana and Ohio State. Going to be in Indianapolis, right? Isn't where the Big Ten championship gets played this weekend?
Lucas Oil Field in Indianapolis. Yep.
Yep. Indiana Red against Ohio State Crimson. Is that what they call it? So we'll see. I mean, I've had Indiana ranked above them for, I don't know, 8-9 weeks. We'll see if I end up being right or if I end up being wrong. What do you think, Ed?
Big Ten's got good things going. Not only do they have the 1 versus 2 this weekend, but looks like Oregon and USC kind of cleaned up on the recruiting front. I think USC had the top recruiting class according to one source I looked at, and Oregon was like number 2 or number 3. So,
Jeez.
I think the Big Ten got bigger and better things coming.
Yeah, Big 10/Pac-10. Yes.
So, Indiana, Ohio State playing this weekend, Chad. Do you think it's an all-out go for the gusto and the win, or do you think since they have a very good chance that they could meet again in the national championship, they're going to kind of hide some things and hold some cards close?
I think Ohio State may do that. I think Indiana wants to make a statement. I think they're going to go all out and put everything on the line trying to win this game. That guy, what does he say? Google me, I win. So I think he wants to make a statement to the rest of the country, the rest of the Big Ten. He wants to pee all over Lucas Oil Stadium, so make sure everybody knows it's his.
And it looks like Iowa's bowl game may very well be against Vanderbilt.
Ooh,
They might get to see old Pavia in a bowl game. So
how do you like that?
I don't know how well that's going to turn out, but sounds good anyway.
As long as you think it sounds good. I don't know. Sounds a little scary. That kid's how do they say in Boston? That kid's wicked good. So
wonder if he got the president to sign that executive order yet.
Oh yeah, to get Vanderbilt in the playoff.
Yeah, he was gonna have President Trump sign a executive order to increase the field to 16 teams this year.
Well,
jeez.
Let's not get into that right away, Ed. We've got a pretty good debate coming up on who should be in the playoffs and who should not. So let's not get too deep into the weeds on that. So I'm going to make you two disappear, and I'm going to bring on KJ. KJ, what's up, bud?
How's it going, sir?
Let's get through. Let's just get through this mess they call the ACC. Let's do that one first. I mean, clearly the weakest conference.
Yeah, I would not argue with that by a long shot. Trying to pull up the other graphic I had. Apparently lost team. So Virginia is obviously sitting at the top. Moved Miami up based on the, I guess you could call it thorough thromping they put upon Pitt this past weekend. Felt like they earned their slot there. I know it's not indicative of the championship game we have upcoming, but as you stated, we can probably get into more of that particular weeds a little later into the cast of the show. Dropped Georgia Tech, obviously. I think they played the Bulldogs fairly well this past weekend, kept them to a fairly low scoring margin. It was essentially within a one-possession game for a majority of the second half. They just could not offensively put enough together to, pull off an upset or even come close to tying the game. So you saw that, I think it was 16-8 or 16-9 finish that they had come into the ticker. So that's kind of where things sat there. People probably could debate on the seating that I have between Duke and Wake Forest. They're fairly neck and neck, but I think that was just a final call based on their head-to-head game, if you will. And the biggest one for me, it's an oddball, but it's just a matter of consistency through the season, and that being reflected in their overall win-loss record, is North Carolina. They were probably the weirdest. Outside of Wake Forest throwing a couple, upsets here and there sporadically, the Wolves really screwed a lot of teams out of one or two wins through the season, and it wasn't just one squad. So, I mean, despite them having, being in the lower half of the pack, they really did ruffle the feathers, if you want to call it that,
Right.
holistically across the conference. It'll be an interesting, I think, championship game with Duke and Virginia.
Yeah, I'm interested as to why the championship game is Duke and Virginia, but you got Duke in the 7th.
I've got some stats on it, and I'm gonna throw my vote in the hat on things. Probably even can pull that up, or I'll wait till a little later when we get into the CFP, because I think it kind of goes along with that, even though mine's just focused primarily on the championship seedings for each conference. But that aside, it is awkward. It is wonky. I do apologize. This graphic that we've got up is a little screwed up, but that's on my fault part. Your 16 slot would actually be Syracuse. So I apologize. I didn't get that copied.
That's okay that they're not in there. Syracuse is
I don't think anybody's going to be crying too much.
But if you look at the ACC, just real quick, and we'll move to the Big 12. I mean, I'll make the case anyway for Miami, but outside of that, and honestly, if Virginia wins, they're in, I think.
Yeah.
But if Duke wins, I mean, they might not get any.
I mean, it's crazy to think, because honestly, I looked back at the schedule. They already gave Virginia, I think, a loss this season, or that was their only one was to them, essentially. I forget the scoring margin. I had it pulled up here a second ago. But yeah, I mean, it'll be I think probably one of the more interesting ones to watch. Yeah, it was week. What was that? 15, 40, 30, 12 or 11. They lost to them. But I mean, when you look at their schedule, Duke beat Wake Forest as recently as last weekend. And Wake Forest is one of the teams that pulled off an upset against Virginia. So if you kind of, follow it from a hierarchical standpoint, Duke has the capability to win this game despite their, distinct win-loss margin differential when you look at the numbers on paper between them and Virginia. For better or for worse, I think parity's always a good thing, but to the extent that it's been existent in the ACC, it's really been more of an Achilles heel for them than a blessing. So
right. All right, let's move to the Big 12.
So not a huge amount of changes from this last week of regular season play within the conference. Was able to move my beloved Cougars back up a little bit with respect to everybody that was seated below them and the win they were able to get against Baylor. Obviously not necessarily the most top-tier opponent out of the conference, but when you look back over the season, we were able to pull off the win against Arizona State. And despite losing to TCU, I think that was just kind of a mulligan week for us, if you will, in terms of not playing to our full potential. I think the seeding sits reflective to both within the standings and how they kind of performed overall through the year. Cincy, for me, probably was one of the bigger I say disappointments. I think I had high hopes for them just from a fan perspective coming into the season, and they started off strong, but they did not finish. I think they suffered similar woes, if you will, to what Iowa State had, maybe less within the injury arena, but still within being able to pull out dubs when needed. But I mean, middle of the pack's nothing to necessarily shake a stick at. I'd have to look back at some of the preseason rankings to see really what a lot of people thought they were going to do, holistically speaking. Outside of them, obviously, the biggest disappointment outside of the hater population that currently exists in the broader landscape, probably for me would be Colorado. I expected them to be able to hold their own this season, despite their roster losses, and at least maintain some form of status quo compared to how they performed last season. Obviously, that did not transpire. And they fell, I guess, technically one win less than what they had last year. So not trending in the right direction. But hopefully, next season can be a crunch year for Prime to crap or get off the pot, figure it out, and do something miraculous. We'll see how that goes.
I do have one bone to pick with you, however.
Go for it.
How does Iowa State win and fall? Iowa State beat TCU.
I did note that.
You have them above them. They beat Kansas State. You have 6-6 Kansas State in the 7-hole. They beat Arizona. You have them at 5, and you have Iowa State at 10. Are you slapping me in the face?
No.
I mean, come on. Listen. I threw the Iowa State. I mean, the injuries and stuff. I threw it away a long time ago. I haven't said it throughout the entire year.
No, I know.
But we come down here and you got them at 10, and there's 3 teams that they beat: TCU, Kansas State, Arizona.
To give credit where credit is due, while I'll play the middleman, so to speak, if you will. You just pointed out 1 or 2 wins they had significantly earlier in the season. We already touched on UH kind of having a mulligan game against TCU. I would argue Arizona's theoretical, mulligan game would have been against Iowa State, and correspondingly, the win you're speaking of is still over a team that is below them in the rankings. So I didn't dock them for beating the team that they won against last weekend. They still are above them, justifiably so. That was an unfortunate end result of how some of the other teams were able to win. And I may be, for better or for worse, I don't always try to just blindly ascribe the power rankings based on their win-loss records. But in the case of the Big 12, I think it is fairly indicative of where most of the teams fall.
But if you go head-to-head, how do you have Kansas State at 7?
So I'll pull up their listing.
I mean, Kansas State has been one of the biggest underachievers all year long.
That's true, but when you look at their record and then combine that with who they've beaten recently, I mean, they got the win against TCU. They're ranked ahead against them.
Okay, Iowa State beat TCU.
They did.
Eric, all I want to interject here is we got some cutting edge stuff to be talking about.
I get it.
Who cares if number 7 Kansas State should be higher or lower?
I'm just telling you.
Cares?
I'm just telling you.
Good.
I've let it slide for weeks.
I would not be taking you to the woodshed like this.
I have let it slide for weeks.
You can
I'm
tell
too much of
Eric,
here. This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say, and I'll close with this. While you can give credit to them beating Kansas State, that was week 1 in a foreign land. We won't get into any other specifics on that one. It's far removed from the remainder of the season. They're basically, if you look at their schedule, they had early success in the year through their first 5 weeks of the season. Right. And once we started getting into the meat of conference play, they began to drop and drop and drop. We know
the injuries
from a CFP perspective. That's fair enough. I'm not arguing that. From a CFP perspective, I think the same thing follows in conference power rankings in the sense of your true testament goes through the longevity of the season. So yeah, you may have beaten Arizona in week, 5 or 6?
In 5 before the injuries really killed us.
Yes, through the midpoint of the season, you lost 4 games in a row. And while you did end the season on a high note, winning 3 games, those were all against, I guess aside from TCU, you beat Kansas and Oklahoma State. Lottie freaking da.
Don't
Okay.
don't care. Don't care. Let's move on. Time
Yeah,
to move
well,
on.
we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. So,
Fair enough.
all right,
Hey,
all
if
right.
you want to move up 2 spots, I won't argue with that.
Let's bring on Brett with the SEC. Big boy, some movement in the SEC. What's up, bud? Love the hat. Love the hat.
Man, what an unbelievable week in the SEC.
Right?
Ooh, on the field,
Crazy.
off the field. It was
Hold on to your ass, boys.
unreal. All right, this is our latest power rankings. Georgia, number 1. Ole Miss, 2. Yeah, let's leave Ole Miss up there. Let's not mention the coaching change that just transpired. Nobody else has heard about the coaching change, of course. Nobody. Hasn't been all over social media. Got Bama at 3. They took care of their rival on the road. I know their rival's bad, but anytime Alabama goes to Auburn on the road and wins, got to say a little bit. And then I dropped them to 4 because if you look at their scheduling this year, especially their in-conference scheduling, they were very, very fortunate. And the one time they actually had to bow up, and again, Texas got them. I mentioned it last week. I think I took Texas A&M, but I said Texas owns them. Texas owns them. I've seen it my whole adult life. If Texas has 3 wins, somehow or another they find a way to beat Texas A&M. They have just got some major voodoo on the Aggies. Dropping them to 4, got Oklahoma at 5. Very, very, very good defense all year long. Very, very average offense all year long. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They're 10-2. That's where they're at. Move Texas up to 6. They are 9-3. They are looking a lot better now than what they were earlier in the season. Vandy at 7. Now, we all said, or I said, that they probably going to win 8-9 games this year. Well, they did better than that. They won their 10th game in Neyland Stadium against their rivals and literally beat the brakes off of them. They won going away. Mizzou about middle of the pack.
45-24.
And trust me, if they would have let Pavia, he would have done more. I can assure you. Meantime, one of his brothers were getting arrested during the game, but that's for another show.
That's for another show.
Mizzou, mid-pack, LSU. Fantastic defense this year. That new coordinator that Brian Kelly hired in the offseason, fantastic job. Problem is he forgot that there's 2 sides of the ball. There's an offense and a defense. So Brian Kelly is no longer with us. And, of course, now they have a new coach. Florida at 11, very similar circumstances, very good top 20 defense, little to no offense, very inconsistent quarterback play with Lagway. You didn't know if you were going or coming with him. The rest of the division, really the rest of the division, Mississippi State and Kentucky at times this season showed a lot of grit, but they just did not have the talent to win those close games. Auburn, the Gamecocks, and then the Woo Pig Sueys come in last. And that's our final SEC power rankings of the season.
Did you see that Vanderbilt pulled the number 1 recruit in the nation away from the Bulldogs?
Yep. Got him from Georgia. Here's the scenario on that. Georgia starting quarterback's not going anywhere. I think he's a sophomore, and he did not want to sit a year. He wanted to come in. He knew at Vanderbilt, Pavia is gone. This is his 19th year playing college football somewhere.
Hey,
and
he's 27. Don't knock him. All right.
Yeah, and he might be trying to get Trump to sign whatever. But if Trump sees his first name, he might be signing something he don't want him to sign. So.
Right.
That being said, man, what a wild and woolly regular season in the SEC. Some of the results is kind of what we expected, and some of others is just like, wow. Who could have predicted everything that's happened in the last week or so?
Well, we just don't have time to sit here and talk and bull crap and stuff. We've got to get right to it. let's do this one, which will lead us up to the college playoff. So Kiffin and the coaching carousel. I think everybody by now knows what happened with Lane Kiffin, correct? Everybody's up to speed on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lane Kiffin gets 7 years, $91 million. He leaves an Ole Miss program that is in the college playoff. You have him at number 2 in your rankings. Okay. It came out today, and just when you think that it couldn't get any stranger, it turns out that Lane Kiffin is taking Charlie Weiss Jr. with him to LSU. Okay, he poached a lot of the offensive personnel from Ole Miss to go to LSU. However, Ole Miss has said it is okay for Charlie Weiss Jr. to come back and be the offensive coordinator for their playoff run. Anybody make that. They said, no, Kiffin, you're out. You're not here. Oh, but you could send Charlie Weiss Jr. back.
The amount of angst and hate, or however, hate might be a strong word.
No, it's hate. Didn't you see that video? Everybody see the video of them telling Lane Kiffin goodbye when he was getting on the plane?
Yeah, there's quite a few of those.
Saying goodbye, Eric.
Yeah, they weren't saying goodbye. Well, they might have been, but it wasn't nice.
And then a lot of the skeletons in the closet from Oxford have came out. Look, it's the same stuff I was aware of when he was here in Tuscaloosa. Lane's a very good offensive mind. He's a really good play caller, but he's a hell of a mess off the field. I could share some stuff that I know that I'm not going to, but Lane still behaves like he's a 16-year-old guy. You can kind of put it at that, and rich, good looking, and power. He's he I don't know how to put this politely, but you can read between the lines. And he had some nightlife issues in Tuscaloosa too that didn't just involve women.
But here's the deal. So Chad, if I told you this, your Nebraska Cornhuskers can get Lane Kiffin, and you're going to have him. They had him for 6 years, right, Brett?
Yeah.
6 years. Your Nebraska Cornhuskers are going to get Lane Kiffin, and it's 6 years. But you know how it's going to end. The Raiders, the tarmac at USC, Tennessee
Volunteers in the middle of the night.
Nick Saban booting him off the staff before the championship game. I mean, you're getting the rock star at Nebraska, but you know what comes with that rock star. Chad, what do you do?
I get an 11-1 season.
You sign up for it.
He leaves, though. He's going to leave.
And he's going to take all your recruits and your coach and the other coaches with him as well.
We already had that with Scott Frost, and we didn't get the wins.
Right. But listen, like Brett said, Lane Kiffin is a good coach. If I told you Lane Kiffin is going to come in, he's going to build Nebraska. Listen, I don't need to ask Ed. Ed's taking him in a heartbeat at Iowa. But if you know he's going to build – yeah, you're laughing because you know I'm right. But you know that he's going to do what he does. Yes. So my point with all of this is you would take him. You know what? Ed would take him. And I don't care what KJ says, he'd take him in Houston too.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would. We all would.
Tom Herman.
But you know bullshit. But you know he's burning the house down when he leaves, because that's what Lane Kiffin is. It's gonna be this ginormous mushroom cloud when he leaves. You don't know what it's going to entail, but you know what's going to happen. So Ole Miss can be ticked off. The fans can do what they do, but listen, Brett, you know this. Ole Miss is relevant because Lane Kiffin happened.
Ole Miss helped remake Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin absolutely put Ole Miss back on the map, which they haven't been since the 60s.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to last very long. I know we don't have time for this, but the Pete Golding, ex-Alabama defensive coordinator, was just named as Lane's permanent replacement.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of his, right?
He couldn't coach his damn way out of a wet paper bag. I'm going to be honest with you. His coaching is as sloppy as his appearance. Now, that being said, I don't have anything against old Pete. I like old Pete. He's a good old boy and all that. But if they think they're going to continue to be relevant with Pete Golding, not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
So, Ed, I didn't give you a chance to answer, but I'm assuming I know what the answer is. Do you take Lane Kiffin at Iowa for 6 years, knowing full and well it's a mushroom cloud at the end?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
It's like Chad said, it's 6 years of relevancy.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, after and I'll be honest with you, after Bill Curry and Dennis Franchione and Mike Price, which never coached a game, Mike Shula, Mike Dubose, if you could guarantee me those 6 years, Lane, I would have took them too in a heartbeat, in a heartbeat. But you better know what kind of condition you're going to be in when he leaves. That's all. You know, hey.
I tell you, he's in his spot now. He can't get any higher, so I don't know where his ego will take him next. The only thing I've thought
Back
all
in the
along,
NFL.
No, the only thing I think he leaves LSU for is for you, Brett, for Bama.
Well, I understand that's why he didn't take the Auburn job 3 years ago when Auburn won, and they took Freeze instead. Auburn fans want to argue that, but that's not the case. They wanted Lane Kiffin. And Lane Kiffin verbally said, okay, and he didn't make the move at the end because he knew Nick didn't have Nick coached one more year after that.
Right.
He knew Nick wasn't going to coach another 5-10 years. Nick was tired, and he had made that known to all the old coaches that, it was getting old. It was getting old. But the tricky thing is, I don't know if Lane would take the job now if something happened with the Boar next year, following year, 5 years from now. Lane didn't get a phone call. Greg Byrne and the university, look, there was some sketchy stuff that went on here around campus with Lane. And we, not bragging, we've had recent success. Lane didn't get a phone call. It was Dan Lanning and DeBoer all along. And that did spurn Lane, and who is one of Alabama's big rivals that can compete with Alabama with NIL money and somewhat on recent history and tradition. LSU makes all the sense. I think Lane would absolutely, Chad, tomorrow take an NFL job. I really do. I think he wants back in the NFL. We've talked to coaches behind the scenes. It's so aggravating for these coaches to deal with NIL and the transfer portal now. I think he would jump on an NFL job tomorrow.
Wouldn't that be just, I mean, it would make headlines everywhere. He jumps away from Ole Miss and goes to LSU. And then on Black Monday, after the last week of the NFL season,
Miami Dolphins.
The NFL comes calling to Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin doesn't even coach a game at LSU. I mean, listen, that would be a total Lane Kiffin move right there.
And take his coaches with him and tell all the players, you know what, if I was you, I'd go play in Alabama. I'd go play at Georgia. That would be Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
He just napalms every bridge he's on.
100%. That's why I don't, everybody's sitting around going, oh, I can't believe. I totally believe it. I was not shocked that he did it. I mean,
I was tired. I thought he had changed. I thought his kids had convinced him and he had changed for his kids, but clearly he has not.
Like I said, if you let me go to LSU, kids, there's going to be a little of this in for you. Go ahead, Dad.
Old Miss wouldn't have given him a raise. Come on.
No. That wasn't. Ole Miss was actually willing to up the ante, and they could afford to pay Lane what LSU offered. Problem is, it's in Lane Kiffin's contract that he gets $25 million for NIL. He wasn't going to get near that at Ole Miss. They couldn't afford it.
Right.
Lane's wanting he got a raise, but the raise, Ole Miss was willing to match it. So was Florida. But out of the three schools that was willing to give him, LSU was willing to give him a lot more NIL than the other two schools.
And KJ, that's exactly what he said in his press conference. He said the resources here at LSU were more than any other school was willing to. He just flat out said it.
Sure, no, I get that. That makes sense.
But I was impressed with the fact that he didn't know what his salary was going to be.
That's a lie.
I was impressed that he didn't care what his salary was.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm sure that $91 million figure just slipped his mind.
Yeah.
A salesman can always see a salesman from afar, and he's full of shit.
He's going to buy some beachfront property in Arizona with that, too.
So, Ole Miss is without their coach. I think some players have already disappeared. Am I correct, Brett?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I think Lane pilfered about 4 or 5 of them to go to Ole Miss.
Or to go to LSU from Ole Miss.
To LSU from Ole Miss. They lost a couple more to other schools. It didn't totally destroy their recruiting class, but it certainly didn't help. And now, I'll say this about Pete. Pete's not a bad recruiter. That's probably Pete Golding's strength is recruiting. I just don't know. Weiss is not going to be there after the playoffs.
No.
I think Ole Miss can win their first game, whoever they play. I think it's probably as far as it goes, though. Pete's not an X's and O's guy. He reminds me of a milder version of Coach Orgeron.
So
problem is he's not going to have that NIL at Ole Miss, so he's going to be limited on recruiting as well.
Yeah. So Ed, you're Charlie Weiss Jr. and you walk back into the Ole Miss facility after basically jumping on the plane and bailing on this team that you have been telling all year, guys, buy in. We're right there. We're this, we're that, whatever they've been saying to them. And you're Charlie Weiss Jr. What is going through your head, Ed?
Well, when he goes back again, he's probably going to see how many more he can snatch.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like it's an unfettered recruiting visit.
They're letting him come back. It doesn't matter whether it's Lane Kiffin or Charlie. It's the fact that they're letting him back in the building and talk to even more, whether it's coaching staff, players, you name it.
But KJ, as a player, how do you respond to that? I mean, let's say you're a player and you are all Ole Miss, like you bleed for Ole Miss, and Charlie Weiss Jr. walks through the door. Is it going to be all sunshine and roses? Like, hey, let's go win one for the Gipper? Like, as a player, do you really want to even be around him?
I think it would be different if you were talking about Lane versus the, secondary coordinating coaches. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a recent player by any means, but I think the mindset there would be at least a little more graceful to acknowledge, hey, this guy's metaphorical collateral damage, not the original engineer of the fissure, if you will. So that's just my thought process. But
I'm sure they tacked on a few simoleons to give that old incentive to move over.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
It is comically ironic, though, that they would let him come back to coach the team and they wouldn't honor Kiffin's. I mean, to Lane's credit, and y'all said it, I'm not disputing anything you stated. Obviously, this has been a very chaotic transition, even in the short time frame that's occurred. But in the same token, he's the first one I've at least heard it been publicized that he tried to do the right thing for the team he was currently on to say, hey, let me stay and coach the playoff, the end of the season. Let me stay here and finish my job for the year, and then I'll move on. And they weren't willing to even let him do that. So to me, like, I don't put 100% of that fault on Lane because he was at least willing to do that. Some coaches like Tom, it's like, Herman, I'm getting on the SUV. I'm going straight to Austin. I don't care what part of the year it is. Fuck you guys. Like, excuse my French, but.
Well, knowing Lane like I'd like to think I half-assed do, he's one of them wants to eat his cake and have his cake and eat it too. He's a silver spoon kid. He's hardly ever been told no in his life. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Oxford. You're not familiar with Tuscaloosa. Oxford's probably about a third the size of Tuscaloosa. It's in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi. Closest thing to it's, Tupelo. And like the athletic director, and he was very candid. I mean, he seemed like one of the good old boys from up there. He said, I can't do that. I got to live here.
Right.
I mean, Lane was having a problem getting to the airport the other day. He didn't have no law enforcement assistance, and the damn natives was running him off the road, threatening him. And he had to call one of the local police that he was actually friends with to get assistance to get to the airport. So I think the athletic director was really put in an impossible position, and I know he probably did everything in his power to beg Lane to stay. And he said, and Lane will not dispute this, Ole Miss was willing to match his salary, but they could not come up with whatever the extra 10, 15 million a year for NIL. They just couldn't. They don't have the donors. It's a smaller school. I mean, it's a very rural area. I mean, I hate it for Ole Miss because, they've always been an underdog my whole life, even though they're a quote-unquote conference rival. But it wouldn't have bothered me one bit if my team couldn't win for Ole Miss to have won a natty this year. Would not have bothered me in the least. I'd have been happy for them, actually. But, yeah, I just kind of know what's coming, what's going to end up happening at Ole Miss. And 2 years from now, it's going to be like Lane Kiffin was never there.
Right. So that leads us into this discussion. Now that if you go back a couple of years, what happened to Florida State? Ed, you had a famous debate about this back in one of our earlier shows in the first season. What happened to Florida State when it came to get into the postseason to go for national championship?
They lost their starting quarterback.
And then what happened to Florida State when it came to getting selected?
They fell down the rankings and they were not let into the tournament.
But still, they were undefeated, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that leads me to this. With the college football playoff, let me bring it up here as it stands right now. I can find it here. Wherever I put it, there it is. One of us is going to get covered up. Maybe it'll be me. No, I'll make it me. I'll take me. I don't know how I move this around. You're good. There. Oh, there we go. We got 5. There we go. Okay. There's the college football playoff as it stands. They have Ole Miss in the 6th seed. Is it right? Because you can't really say, well, Ole Miss accomplished this, so they deserve to be there, regardless of what has torpedoed, what has absolutely nuclear bombed their team. But yet, because Florida State lost their quarterback 2 years ago, you napalm their season for it, and they were undefeated.
Yeah,
How can you let?
Does Ole Miss still have their players on the field?
How many did they lose, Brett?
Yeah, they haven't had any hit the portal. So their current roster is still their current roster, unless something changes tonight or between now and the playoffs, which you could possibly. I would be shocked that the guys wouldn't at least want to. When did they ever think they were going to chase the playoffs or a championship, committing to Ole Miss to begin with? I just don't see any of them leaving between now and the playoffs.
I think as long as you got your players on the field, That's the difference between Ole Miss and Florida State.
Yeah.
But what do we always say? The coach is the most important in college, and the quarterback is the most important in the NFL. You just
I don't
torpedoed
know
that
if that's
team.
realistically true, but yeah.
No, I mean it is. I would argue that with anybody. The coach is the most important.
Yes.
I would disagree based on the cohesion of your coaching staff. I mean,
Listen, KJ, I'm not going to let you off the hook with this one. I'm telling you right now, the coach is the most important because they're not building statues of players; they build statues of coaches in the NFL.
I guess let me pivot. I'll use my alma mater as an example. If Willie Fritz were to leave on the eve of the next week's game, and everybody expected this not to be, I mean, playoffs a different story, I guess, because you're talking multiple weeks potentially if your team has to run the table. But in the same token, if he's not the one calling the offensive plays or calling the defensive plays, to expect them to not be able to maintain any form of status quo over at least 1 week, if not a couple, I would have to throw the BS flag on, in my general opinion.
Who calls the plays for Ole Miss, Brett? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chad.
I would just two counterpoints. Very recent. LSU and Penn State, two of the most talented programs in the entire country, and their head coaches totally flamed out this year, and both teams were a bonfire because of it.
And they had, what did we say from the get-go, Brett? LSU had what?
They had talent.
They had talent. So the talent wasn't able to carry them.
Well, let me throw this in, and I know it was just one game. It's different time, all that. You know, Saban was so organized and so controlling, and we had really good coaches here. One of the COVID years, Saban had COVID. Well, guess what? He had COVID the week of the Auburn game. Now, thankfully, the game was here in Tuscaloosa, and Saban was sitting at the house playing pool, probably, watching the game. But Alabama did well. Did I tell a little difference? Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit on a couple of decisions and lack of discipline near the end of the game. But, I mean, they held it together pretty well. But again, they was probably scared for their lives, that when he came back, if they didn't, Yeah. So a little bit different scenario.
Yeah, that's a little. I mean, again, if tomorrow Matt Campbell said I'm gone from Iowa State, and the roster all comes back, Iowa State's cooked. They're cooked. The coach matters way more in college than it does in the NFL. Period.
Agreed.
Well, that's why I'm saying with Ole Miss next year, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll see it. We'll see it. But what I'm saying is, I think Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss is way more of a bomb. I mean, if I'm Georgia right now, if this plays out and the college football playoff looks just like this, if I'm Georgia, I'm thinking, if only Ole Miss is probably going to win that game, even though, whoever they're playing, like Virginia or whoever it is. I'm lathered up. Because I get Ole Miss because they've been torpedoed. They've been cut. I mean,
well, and sometimes this rallies the troops. It might embolden the players even more. I just, like you said, when it gets to X's and O's, I know that Kiffin is 24/7 always on that headset with Charlie Weiss Jr. each play, and Weiss is telling him what the defense is doing and what he's seeing. So I think Lane was probably as important to Charlie Weiss Jr., but I think Charlie Weiss Jr. was probably pretty important to Lane as well. From what I could see, and I watched just majority of their games.
And I believe they should be there, but when you go back to the Florida State thing, did Florida State not earn the spot?
Well, they earned this. To me, they earned the spot. But we all knew what time it was.
I
They
get
earned
it.
the spot,
I'm
but
not denying they didn't earn the spot, but
at the time they filled the field, they were not worthy of a spot.
right. Look,
He wants to watch a 45-0.
no,
So,
no.
so you mean to tell me if Duke wins the ACC championship game with 5 losses, they've earned a spot?
They won't. I don't know
By
how
their
this-
rules.
Well, but I somebody said this today on one of the programs. If Duke wins, the ACC runs the risk of not having anybody in the playoff. And I thought,
Oh,
the
because they don't
ACC
have anybody ranked.
yes. So that means the 12 seed could be James Madison, and the 11th seed could be Tulane.
This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking about.
Can
They
we
turned this
acknowledge-
tournament into a joke.
Can we at least acknowledge that the component y'all are discussing with regards to Florida State is minutely different, only in the caveat that they were we're talking, to your point, Eric, like 12 seeder out versus Ole Miss is currently at 6. Penalize them for not having their coach. Does that drop them a full 6 places? I guess would be the question.
Is that right? Florida State only had 1 loss, right?
No, Florida State I think they were undefeated.
Well, but there was only 4 teams.
That was back when there was a 4
And that was
team.
4
I'm
teams.
just talking specifically about the seeding placement they were at, pre-consideration of the player/coach loss. That's what I'm getting at. There's a difference there, to be fair to even Chad's argument of, we don't have the right structure in place.
Well, here's the thing. This is what tipped Chad over the edge, which I knew. You saw me put my head in my hand as soon as Eric mentioned Tulane and James Madison, North Texas, whoever the hell he mentioned. I knew what was coming. And look,
I've got a whole slide prep for why Tulane doesn't even deserve to be in their conference championship, let alone the CFP.
I mean, it's just
I'm happy to share that.
all this, you're in the Turdville State INT conference for the blind, deaf, and dumb. If you win that conference, that's bullshit. But that's where we're at right now. I mean,
But if we had 16,
Oh, jeez.
hey, I'm all for the 16. Let's roll.
We just need to go to 64. 64.
No, here's exactly what needs to happen.
64 is perfect.
Here's exactly what needs to happen. They need to do away with this conference championship BS. That's
They're
the
not
first
going
thing.
to too much cash.
They're not going to do it. Too much money.
I get it, but to make it right, this is what they need to do. They always say we should settle it on the field, right? We can do all sorts of hypotheticals. If so-and-so played so-and-so, they would win, or the other team would, whatever. You know what? You've got let's just say Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech, Georgia, they're settled. And let's say Oregon, Mississippi, A&M, and at this point, OU is settled. All right? Those teams are settled.
Yeah.
Now let's have BYU play Alabama or whoever it is. However they set it. I don't know if they're just
Right.
if they're just gonna have 2 SEC teams play, have
versus Notre Dame, something. Again.
whatever it is, however they want to do it. Those games, when you make them a win and you're in, or a lose and you're done, those to me are a hell of a lot more important than a championship game where Alabama could get penalized for losing if they lose. That ain't right.
Well, here's the thing again, and I know it's going to drive Chad crazy, but look, I can't even remember what the hell they call the divisions now. The Division 2s and the Division 3 and the whatever they're called today. They've been doing a 16-team playoff for about as long as I've been alive. If
Right.
they can do it and get it right, why the hell can't we? Why are we still? I mean, it took them forever to get a 4-team, then a 6-team. But all these other conferences they've been running a 16-team for over 30 years, and they've never had a problem. I don't understand.
What you do with it is you give so many slots to each conference, and they're automatic. Because then whoever's in, let's say that the Big 12 has 2. Well, whoever's if you want to keep your championship game, like Chad said, it's too much money. You those two are automatically in.
Right.
So they can play the championship without any worry about, well, if we don't win, we're automatically in. If you have 4 from the SEC, you can play that championship game, both teams knowing they're already in, and then 3 and 4 in.
But
And if you have
So you're saying what you're saying in your scenario right there, Duke's automatically in. Duke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses. 5.
But the reason I say that, and I agree with you, Chad, they should not be in.
They
But what
should
I'm
not
saying
be
is
in their conference championship game.
The
They should have
16
no
best
business.
teams, it don't
That's
matter what
why-
conference they're in.
That's why the committee
That's why you can't give
should
these
rank the
guaranteed
teams
spots.
from number 1 to number 12 or number 1 to number 16. Draw the line.
I agree.
who's in. Period.
And you have
I agree.
30 experts vote on who's the best 16 teams. We don't care what conference they're in. Well, we got to go help. No, we don't got to go help that damn conference. It's the best 16 teams.
yes. And here's
And
the
out
deal.
of 30 experts, if they can't get that right, then we'll never,
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. If you could 100%, guarantee that there's not going to be biases there, that's exactly how I'd want it. If you had 16 teams, and if it's top 16 and there's 8 SEC schools, so be it. If there's 8 Big 12 schools, so be it. If there's 8 Big 10, so be it. That would be the fairest thing to do. No question.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's so much an issue of the size at this point. It's continuity, to your point, Brett. The fact that we haven't been able to have a system that's been standardized for as long as March Madness or the lower tier football ranks have had. Like, that's the issue. They haven't been able to.
You know what kind of got away from the biases, guys, was the BCS system. The problem is with the BCS system, we only had best 2 teams. Use that computer system to determine the best 16 teams if you're worried about bias.
Yeah.
And then you can weight them. Strength of schedule. You can put weights on them.
It's truly mathematic. Then it's not. Yeah.
Then you can really make it mathematical. But what I'm getting at,
because the computer polls also factored in the AP and the coaches poll.
Well, but what I'm saying is,
biases.
They just changed.
You can take those out.
Yeah, you can.
You can take that out. The AP and then the coaches poll just becomes this is what the AP thinks. This is what the coaches think. But the computer has this based on strength of schedule, opponents, head to head, all the shit that you want to put in there. Then you can make that and take.
Come on, however you set the algorithm, so to speak.
Yes, you set the algorithm, you eliminate the human factor. But this is why I bring up the human factor. Here are the teams that currently could be in, out, or maybe. Miami, Notre Dame, Texas, Vandy, BYU. Now, the scenarios, if BYU beats Texas Tech, most of the experts have said both of them will be in, which then affects Miami, Notre Dame, Texas, and Vandy. If they went through all sorts of, if Texas Tech wins, then BYU has 2 losses, all to the same team. BYU's probably out. Okay? But if you look at, and I'll read these off, and then you guys can debate it. But I went through all 5 of these teams, all 5 of them. Notre Dame. We'll start with Notre Dame. You know how I feel about Notre Dame not being in a conference, having a bunch of patsies, those types of things. Let's just start with Notre Dame. They lost to Miami, ranked opponent. They lost to Texas A&M, ranked opponent. Their signature wins, if you can call them that, their best signature win was beating the 4th place team in the Big Ten. That's it. And the other ranked win that they had was Pitt.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to compare Notre Dame to Miami, here's what it looks like. Miami owns the head-to-head. Now, what is the first tiebreaker in almost everything that we've ever been told?
Head-to-head.
Head-to-head, right? Miami owns head-to-head. Miami has a bad loss against Louisville. That is a bad loss. Okay? They lost to SMU in overtime. SMU was a playoff team last year. They beat Notre Dame. They beat ranked USF at the time, which is the equivalent of beating Pitt, in my opinion. Miami played Pitt and beat Pitt worse than Notre Dame did. So tell me why, in that scenario, that Notre Dame would be in over Miami. Let me finish, and then I'll let you guys go. BYU has a loss to Texas Tech, ranked Texas Tech. They have a higher quality ranked win than either. Well, I shouldn't say either because Miami did beat Notre Dame when they were sixth at the time. But certainly than Notre Dame. They have a higher quality win than Notre Dame against a higher ranked team. They beat Utah and they beat Arizona, both ranked teams. I would say both more quality wins than USC or Pitt. Vandy loses to Alabama, loses to Texas 34-31. Vanderbilt signature wins at Tennessee 45-24, against Missouri 17-10, against LSU. LSU was ranked at the time 31-24, and against 11th ranked South Carolina 31-7. Now, if you look at that resume, Vanderbilt has a better resume than those four other teams. Take it away. Who wants to go first? Chad?
Well, the problem is their name is Vanderbilt.
Well,
Thank
but
you
listen,
for confirming brand bias.
That's factually correct.
But what I'm saying is, you just said, Brett, when we were talking about the college football playoff, and Ed has said it at length, everybody said it. If you want 16, you cut it off at 16, and those it doesn't matter what conference you're in or nothing. It just These are the top 16 teams. You know what? According to that list, Vanderbilt has earned it.
Absolutely. I agree.
But the bias exists. So, of these teams, I'll start with you, Ed.
Chad. So Texas beats Oklahoma, but Texas has 3 losses and Oklahoma only has 2.
Sorry, I did not do Texas. Let me do Texas quick. Thanks for correcting me, Chad. Lost to Ohio State 14-7, which was Ohio State's closest game of the year. I realize it was early, but it was Ohio
first game of the year.
Yep. Lost to Georgia 35-10, and their bad loss was Florida 29-21. But Texas signature wins, number 6 Oklahoma 23-6 at home. They beat Vanderbilt 34-31, and they beat number 3 Texas A&M 27-17. So, I mean,
now Oklahoma was not home. That's neutral site at the Cotton Bowl, so that was.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right.
Neutral,
so
still in the state of Texas.
Right. Yes. But what I'm saying is, go ahead, Chad.
Well, what I'm trying to say is Oklahoma beats Michigan. Auburn at the time was 22. They lose to Texas. They beat South Carolina, which is okay. They lose to Ole Miss. They beat Tennessee at Tennessee. They go into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama, and they beat 22 ranked Missouri.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good freaking resume to me.
Yeah. Listen.
How are they not in this discussion?
No,
well, they're in.
Oklahoma's in currently. That's why I didn't put them in.
Well, they are in.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. They're in currently. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in. They're not going anywhere.
I think they're in. I think Oklahoma's a solid.
Just wasted 2 minutes of our time.
Well, but Ed, if you look at this, who should be in your opinion, Ed?
Well, Texas brings up a good point in the fact that if you want these signature schools to schedule signature games like Texas did with Ohio State, then to say that they have 3 losses, they're automatically out. Well, if they wouldn't have scheduled Ohio State, they only have 2 losses, and their resume is good enough. They're probably getting in.
Right.
So,
Yep.
I mean, so what do you want? It still has got to come down to strength of schedule and quality of the team before all other is. I mean, Texas and Vandy are definitely the 2 teams out of those 5 that should be in, as far as I'm concerned. And neither one of them are in the discussion.
No, they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they're outside.
If we want to get to your point, Ed, if we want to get rid of these games, if we want to get major football program to quit playing San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston, we cannot penalize them for taking a big school from a non-conference opponent.
100%.
We can't penalize them for that.
Yeah, first game of the year on the road or at home or whatever.
If we truly want to get rid of those games, and everybody's been talking the last few years, they want to quit playing the cream puffs, quit playing them. Well, you know what? If you're going to keep penalizing them for it, then you don't motivate them to get rid of these games.
Get rid of the magical, if you lose more than 2 games, you're out of the discussion.
Yeah.
I mean,
but see, that's where I think, and
it's got 5. So
KJ, correct me if I'm wrong. That's where I think and to Brett's point earlier, if you go to the computer model and you eliminate, like Chad said, eliminate the AP and the college and the coaches poll.
Right.
And it's head to heads, strength of schedule, those types of things, quality wins. I think you could actually eliminate some of this discussion because you're not doing the human error. The computer doesn't care what Notre Dame's brand is. They're either in the top 12 or 16, whatever it is, or they're not.
Right.
And the computer would eliminate Notre Dame based on the head-to-head with Miami. What say you?
I mean, I don't disagree. I guess my question would be getting more into the weeds on the algorithm and the software is, if we're truly going to say we're going to throw out the AP polling, coaches polling, where do they get the metrics to even create these algorithms for each of the teams at the start of, say, next year for the start of the season?
Well, they always wait 4 or 5 weeks before they even come out with college football playoff rankings. So
no, I know, and I would agree with that. But to that point, Chad, that further illustrates my stressing of deleting brand bias would mean that the very first, we'll call it the quasi BCS, because that's essentially what it would be, ranking system that would came out, midpoint through the season, you'd be having a full list of either undefeated or 1-loss teams in every one of your rankings. And it wouldn't be because it's A&M. It wouldn't be because it's UT. It would be because that's their freaking win-loss record thus far through the year. Albeit, yeah, having better quality games is good. But my question is how do they know which are the better quality games if you don't have any past algorithmic data to input?
Well,
you would truly have to go off of everybody's starting with a clean slate.
Yeah. And for
That
example,
would ruffle a lot of y'all's feathers.
well, for example,
It would. It's a fact.
yeah. For example, Florida State at the beginning of the year beats Alabama, right? And that's a bad loss for Alabama. But it's only a bad loss for Alabama because we now know what Florida State is. And I would have to believe that when they set the algorithm for the computer, as Florida State starts to tank, that starts to hurt Alabama.
Sure, yeah, I guess.
I mean, the computer would work that out as the season went.
Actively grade everything based off of the historic past weeks of the season.
Part of it, KJ, is you also, instead of having to come out after week 4 or 5, it doesn't come out till 8 or 9 or 10.
No, I don't disagree.
So it has 8 or 9 games to go off of before the rankings come out. I mean,
I'm not opposed to that in the slightest. I think that's the smartest way to go, honestly. I mean, to address the elephant in the room that's already been discussed, in my personal opinion, I mean, we can debate over between Texas, Vandy, and BYU, but from what I've seen, Miami and Notre Dame, neither of them deserve to. I see some people ranting about how the Hurricanes deserve it more than Notre Dame. It's like, I'm not going to disagree with you, but technically neither of them deserve to get in for what I've seen. That's my personal opinion. Like,
I mean, do you agree with that, Brett? I mean, I do, kind of, but what do you think?
What's that?
With Miami and Notre Dame. They keep talking about Notre Dame in the eye test. Well, they haven't played anybody. So, of course, Notre Dame looks like a world beater right now.
and I would
You know what I mean?
Look, the way both teams has played the last few weeks, I don't have a problem with it. I'll probably put more. I would put more on how a team finishes the season in their last 4, 5, 6 games as opposed to how they played at the beginning of the season. Problem is, Notre Dame's toughest games was at the beginning of the season. Don't you guys just eye test think that they're a little better than what they were at the beginning of the season? I mean, I do, but
when you talk about what a team's resume and what they deserve is, well, does that mean that and they don't play in a conference? You know, they don't play in a conference. They don't have to run a conference schedule like Alabama does through the SEC.
But if you held a gun to my head, I feel like the team that's really getting done wrong in this scenario that should be number 10 in the playoffs right now would be Miami over Notre Dame.
Yes. Miami should be over Notre Dame just by head-to-head.
Right. Yeah.
But yet they have Notre Dame over Miami. Like, it just makes no sense whatsoever.
Well,
yeah.
Which one has been the brand forever, and which one is kind of a newer brand?
Right.
Well, I wouldn't say Texas is a newer brand, but what I would say is that Notre Dame's been a brand since 1920. That's what I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at brands, you'd probably go with Notre Dame, probably then Miami. Miami and Texas would be really close.
Yeah.
As far as brands. And then
BYU, then Vandy.
Yeah.
I think to y'all's point.
Yeah, I think Texas with recency the last couple of years surpasses Miami because Miami's been struggling.
Right. Because we remember the 80s and the U. I mean, so that's why I said that.
Yes.
And the 90s, but I mean, yeah, recency would probably put Texas over Miami. But then, Vandy would be at the bottom of that list by far.
Oh, for brand? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the way I if I'm going to rank these teams from 1 to 5, I'm going to go Texas, Vandy, Miami,
Go ahead, just do it. We all know you're going to do it, Chad.
Notre Dame, BYU.
So
I can't necessarily disagree with that.
And why a one-loss team at the end?
It doesn't respect the big.
Well, they showed when they played Texas Tech why they're not serious.
Well, but you could say
Texas Tech, BYU is never in that game.
But you could say the same thing. Texas showed their colors when they lost to Florida.
I wouldn't disagree with what you said, Ed. I guess my caveat would be as we've all seen, this is true even in the pros when you have your 2 interconference or interdivisional games between opponents. They'll win the first one and then lose the second later in the season because depending on the coach, they do a good job of adjusting.
Yeah, it's tough to beat the same team twice in 1 year.
Next week we might be having a totally different conversation if the Cougs decide to wake up and royally give Texas Tech all they can handle. Not to say they'll win, but
I mean,
that's more a theoretical conversation, I guess.
I just don't see the quality of games for BYU the same as for Vandy and Texas and Miami.
I don't disagree with Vandy and Texas. I think to your point, that's going back to the whole Miami Notre Dame evaluation of the level of grade of their season. And I think we haven't really talked about it or mentioned it. I don't know if anybody has really on our show these past few weeks. I've seen it maybe once or twice mentioned on the broader social media landscape. I think what the CFP committee is giving more credence to that not a lot of people are talking about is the fact that Notre Dame was in the Natty last year. And because these 2 losses they had, like you touched on, Brett, were early in the season, they're going to pair that maybe unspokenly, but they're still in their thought process or pairing that with, these are 2 early losses in the season, so we're going to give Notre Dame extended grace for them to hold their ranking and stay near the top longer versus another team that didn't have that recent past history from last year.
But then you have the head-to-head, and Miami beat them head-to-head.
No, I don't disagree with you.
And you have Miami behind them.
They're giving them a pass on that.
Yes. Okay.
We,
Anything else? We probably better get to our pick'ems because we're, again, running long on college. I'm totally shocked. Okay. Let's get to the pick'ems. First game. Big 12 championship. Number 11, BYU, 11-1 at Texas Tech, 11-1. Tech is a 12.5-point favorite.
Where is this game played? Is this in Texas Stadium?
The Alamo Dome, isn't it?
No, it's Jerry World.
Yep, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry World.
And it's no longer the
Stadium.
Dr. Pepper
Okay.
Big 12 championship. It's Edward Jones. So, for those who aren't aware.
Now, if we were taking the
Tech.
points, Chad's Tech. If we were taking points, I would take BYU in the points. But since we're not, I'm taking Tech. Ed?
Tech for me.
Brett?
BYU keeps it close for a while, but Texas Tech just too much.
KJ?
Yeah, I think we'll see a much closer game this weekend, but I have to give credence to the Red Raiders. They have a very good squad. There's no doubting or disputing that.
I'm guessing.
Well, he called them by their name. Newsflash.
I don't do that petty bullshit where it's like the other team, the team from the north.
No,
You're calling kindergartners in Ohio State, bro.
Tortilla throwers.
The tortilla
I've
throwers.
never heard of them in my life. Yeah, tortilla throwers. That one I'll use, but they know who they are. So
Henry's got Tech. Big Mike's got BYU in an upset. All right, next game. SEC Championship. Number 3, Georgia. 2.5-point favorite. Number 9, Alabama. This is actually in the state of Georgia, correct, Brett? The championship game?
It's in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
So is it going to be a home game for Georgia?
Yeah. Well, it'll be probably 60-40, somewhere in that ballpark.
All right. I got you down for Georgia, Brett. Is that good?
Yes, sir.
I knew that was coming.
Georgia by 50. There's no way in hell Alabama can beat Georgia twice in one season.
Who you got, Chad?
Give me Bama.
Ed?
Bama by 3.
I got Bama too. I think they're going to avoid the old third loss. And now the real problem will be when Alabama beats Georgia the second time. If they meet farther down the road in the college playoffs, can they beat Georgia 3 times in one season? That would be a tall order there.
That's not even fair.
That would really kill you. KJ?
I had this one way, and then I decided to flip flop just because it is. I think it will be a close game. I'm going to go Bulldogs.
I am going to avoid Brett's gank. I'm going with Bama because I think I want Bama to win. So, next game,
Georgia. We got Georgia, Bama in the comments.
Ooh, it's a split. It's a split. Big Ten championship. Number 2, Indiana, 12-0. At number 1, Ohio State, 12-0. Where's this one at? Is this Lucas Oil?
Yep, Indianapolis.
Yes. Indianapolis. KJ, who you got in the undefeated Big Ten championship game?
I'm all about Cinderella stories and history-making moments, so I got to go with the Hoosiers.
Brett?
Man, this would be awesome for Indiana and Kirk Cinetti to win this and Mr. Google me. But man, Ohio State is so loaded. And they're loaded at a place I really matters to me, and that's in the trenches. I think Ohio State's going to win, and it's going to be convincing. It'll be double digits.
I have Ohio State as well. I'll be rooting for Indiana, but I think Ohio State. This is going to mean something. I don't think they've won a Big Ten championship since what, 21? Is that right?
1921. It makes sense.
No, it's 2021, but yeah. I think that's right, but I could be wrong. Chad?
Well, I've had them ranked number 1 in the Big Ten for 8 or 9 weeks. I better stay with them. Give me Indiana. The question is if your guys' scenario holds out and Ohio State beats them and beats them soundly, do they drop out of the top 4 in the season?
I don't think they will. I think they would move to 4. I think Indiana would still have the bye.
Okay.
I think they would. Ed?
I'm rooting for Indiana, but I'm taking Ohio State.
So I'm flying alone, huh? Okay.
No, you and KJ have Indiana.
Oh, KJ? Oh, I am fucked.
And
Wait a
the
minute.
biggest game of the weekend. Unranked Duke 7-5 at number 17 Virginia 10-2. Now,
did you guys hear what the tiebreaker was to get Duke in this game?
No.
Well,
I would love to know because I tried to figure that crap out for the life of me, and I literally my graphic is the argument for why they shouldn't be in.
Here's what it says. It says Duke made it to the title game because its conference opponent's winning percentage was better.
Really?
That's so stupid.
It does nothing about beating anybody or losing anybody. Their opponent's winning percentage was better.
That
Now-
means you could still play the weakest half of your conference and get the nod because you had the cupcake schedule. That literally is rewarding weaker scheduling.
If Texas
idiotic.
if Texas A&M beat Texas,
Right here, I literally did the cross comparison. Like they had better losses, better wins. Like it goes without saying. It's ridiculous. Why?
That was the tiebreaker.
So dumb, man. So dumb.
The stupidest. I wonder how big of I wonder what the numbers were, what the percentage.
Both the ACC and the American screwed up their championship games this year.
but
and when there are 30,000 fans in that big stadium Saturday, maybe they will make some corrections in that moving forward.
yeah. But if I'm not mistaken, did Duke not beat Virginia, KJ?
They did not. They lost. But my point was, we were talking about it earlier. I don't know if it was before the show went live or not. Or I guess it was when I was doing a power rankings. They beat West Virginia after losing to Virginia or Wake Forest, excuse me. And Wake Forest is the one that actually trounced on Duke. So I guess, or on Virginia. So I think by the hierarchy standpoint, I think Duke has a legitimate shot, in my opinion. That's who my vote goes to, at least.
I hope the hell they don't win.
Yeah.
Well, it takes Duke.
KJ, you got Duke?
I'm taking Duke. Yep.
Ah.
I think
Ed?
they're exciting to watch them.
I got Virginia.
Brett?
Virginia, let's all hope Virginia. No, we don't. I mean, that's just.
I got Virginia too.
I'm going to take
Duke. If you're going to take Chad's position, then we got the wrong seating setup because if that's the case, none of the ACC guys will get in, and then we'll eliminate this whole half of the proverbial 4 or 5 teams that Eric already mentioned. So
True.
Put me down for the Commonwealth of Virginia. However, I will be rooting for Duke, and I will be rooting for them hard. And if they win, I will stand and cheer and dance, and my fat ass, my back will go out on me. I'll be laying on the ground in pain, but I'll be happy because I want this to be a mess.
he'll also be bowing down because he will have lost in the rankings to Kenneth, and KJ will overtake him in the standings of the power rankings for the year.
We got Duke, we got Virginia, we got Duke. Big Mike's got Duke, Marty's got Duke, Henry's got Virginia. Big Mike took all the road teams. All right. That is it for our college segment. But when we come back, Ed, baby, It is all NFL. We'll see you in a bit. It's so refreshing when we get to the NFL segment, Ed, and somehow, Chad, some way, the Chicago Bears just keep winning.
I don't understand.
I mean, listen, I watched this game up in the deer stand. It's crappy out. I got snow on me, and I'm just like, I said this to God. I said, one of two things needs to happen tonight since I'm in the deer stand. Either I'm okay without shooting the big one, but if you just allow my beloved Bears to win this game, I can be happy. Or if my Bears must lose, the big one needs to walk by me so I can forget it. And you know what? I didn't shoot the big one, but our beloved Bears beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
I tell you what, I owe Ryan Poles an apology. He had the Canadian left tackle and this kid from Boston College, and that kid they're playing the offensive line won that game.
Oh,
they were road graders.
Oh,
they were road graders. They were shoving guys 3, 4, 5 yards down the field. I mean, to make DeAndre Swift look that good, that is one hell of an effort by an offensive line. I mean,
so, I know
they were.
It was, and just for posterity's sake, 281 yards on the ground. 2 100-yard rushers. I mean,
that offensive line won that game. It was unbelievable. They were just, and that's what's been going on the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's like
it's not
6
new.
yards.
What's new? What's new was they did it to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right,
the best roster in all of football. We all say it here every week. One of the best defensive lines in all of football, and they just punked them. They just since we slapped them around.
So we started off with this. We'll just get right into this, and then we'll get to maybe the power rankings or something, because I know Ed just cannot wait for this. Ed, I remember what you said last week on the show, I believe. And I quote, "If Chicago beats Philadelphia, I may start believing in Chicago." So now, Brett's back. Brett, we kicked right into it. We're going to forego the power rankings for right now. I had to bring up Chicago right away, so we're just going to get right into it. Chad and I have already we've talked about the road graders up front, the 281 yards, but the response that we as Bears fans that I just asked Ed was this. Last week he said, and I quote, "If Chicago beats Philadelphia, I may start to believe in them." So, Ed, do you believe in our Chicago Bears?
I would say that Every week I always say, yeah, the Bears have a good record, but I think the only thing you can measure is Chicago. Every team that they've played on their schedule, they've stuck close to. I really thought Philadelphia would beat them handily, and it didn't happen. So now, next on the line, the 2 out of the next 3 weeks,
He hasn't answered the question.
they play Green
Answer the
Bay.
question, Ed. I don't want to hear about next week.
The next 3 weeks,
Answer the
they play
question, Ed.
Green Bay.
Yeah, but
Who is Chicago?
Answer the question, Ed.
But Ed,
Who is
Answer the
Ed,
question.
Ed, can you
Answer the
please,
question.
before we get into the next 3 weeks, can you please just answer the question? Are you now a believer in the Chicago Bears?
Are you a man of your word?
Yes, I am a believer in the Bears.
Whoa! Woo! You see how hard that was, guys? Like
That
it
was
just
super
like
hard.
See, but see,
I believe in the
like I always say, I keep it real. So when
The guy who gave up on
so when the Bears have it coming,
Yeah,
I'm willing to give them their props. Unlike Chad, who will just sit there and bang on the Vikings just because. Doesn't have anything to do whether they're good or not. It's just
I had a reason, and I told you I had a reason every week last year. And at the end of it all, who was right? This
Sam
guy.
freaking Darnold.
That's who. Sam freaking Darnold. Sam Darnold all over the end of your season. And don't get mad at me because I was right.
So now
Look.
go ahead, Ed, and crap all over our party.
Yep.
Well, I'm not going to crap all over your party, but they always say that the season is a series of challenges. They've done a great job so far of meeting and exceeding the challenges in front of them. But you guys know as well as I do that they've always said Chicago's daddy is Green Bay. So now you've got Green Bay coming up twice in the next 3 weeks. Can they get a split?
That's what we hope for.
If Chicago can get a split with Green Bay, they're in great position because they'll maintain the higher seating over Green Bay.
That's what needs to happen.
I'll take a split.
I would take a split too. That's what needs to happen. But if I were to ask you, and I know Chad loves this question. So obviously the Bears are at Lambeau this weekend. And they flexed the game to the game of the week at 3:05 or whatever it is. What? Or 3:25. Who is it more important for to win?
Green Bay.
I 100% agree.
Yeah, Green Bay without question.
Green Bay cannot afford to go a game and a half down to the Bears in the division and dropping the game at Lambeau. Because they know in 2 weeks then they've got to go to Chicago. So for me as a Bears fan, I mean, obviously I want them to win this week. But this game, to our thinking, listen, this is every Bears fan right now. And there are some Bears fans that are going way over the top. I'm still a realist when it comes to Chicago. If we make it to the playoffs, this season is a win, win, win. I don't
You're
care.
starting to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. Come on now.
So tell me why you think I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Because when we're in our normal weekly chat, you've got Chad and you've got Brett that continue to keep it real. And you're the one, oh God.
You got a Carolina Panther in your house or what? Hey, she hit mute on you.
She hit mute on you.
She hit mute on you, Brett.
Brett, you got to learn to control your pussy, dude.
I've got so much of it.
Tell me how I don't keep it real, Ed. I have said from the get-go, winning record at the beginning of the season, we could do that. That would be amazing. We've already accomplished that. I have said playoffs would be awesome. And even if we lose on Sunday, we still have a 72% chance of making the playoffs. Okay, that would be awesome. I still don't believe we're going to win the division. And if we win a playoff game, great. If we don't, I'm not going to be that disappointed. I'm not exactly sure how that is drinking the Kool-Aid. I think that's probably being more realistic than anything. I mean, if you look at some of the Bears chats, there's some Bears fans that are going off the reservation with excitement. So I don't know how I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Am I enthusiastic?
Well,
Absolutely.
what you just said right here is the first time you've said it. So
No, we can go back on the show. I've said it on the show numerous times. If we could just make the playoffs, I don't care. And I've said this 3 or 4 times in the last, I don't know how many weeks. We're not winning the division. We are not winning the division.
Do you agree, Chad?
Well, if we don't, it's because the Packers swept us.
Yeah. What I would say,
but that could happen.
Your guys' love of who does this game mean more to? Who's got to have it more? I would argue the Bears have to have it more because yes, they're having a good season. Yes, they're dancing and having all these parties in the locker room and doing all this fun stuff.
You mean like this, Chad?
Yep,
like this party right here. You mean like
just
that one?
That. But what I would say is mentally they need to beat Green Bay twice to believe in themselves because they can't beat Green Bay, and Green Bay doesn't need it for confidence because Green Bay has way more confidence than they should be allowed to fucking have.
Okay, and I agree with you there, Chad, a little bit, but I will say this. Last year, we were 1-1 with Green Bay. We were a blocked field goal away from beating them twice, and we were abysmal. Okay? This year, Brett, I think, Brett, you and I talked about this. We had Minnesota. We were stepping on their throats, and they were just about ready to take their last gas, and we took our foot off their throat, and then they beat us. And then in game 2, the Lions absolutely throttled us. If and this is why I have hope, not for this year. I mean, this year I've mapped out how I think this year's going to go. But I have hope for years beyond, is because you saw what happened to us last year on the Hail Mary at Washington. We were 4-2. That Hail Mary happens, and we folded shop. We go 5-12. Okay? This year starts off worse than the year before with Matt Eberflus. The old Bears, should they not have packed up after losing 2 division games, losing them the way we did? I mean, don't the old Bears usually pack up after that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Different head coach and mentality, different coaching staff, and we added some leadership in the offseason, especially on the offensive line. And it was a slow, if you go back and look at game 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, we weren't playing nearly as good as we were now. It was a slow climb to get our feet back under us. But you got to give this team credit. They're going to fight. I think, no matter what happens the rest of the season, we could go 13-4. We could go 12-5. Worst case scenario, I think 11-6. I think we can win a playoff game. This team's going to go down fighting. I think what you saw last year in that mentality, that's over.
And that's my hope.
We've proven that time and time again in every game this season.
But that's why I think, Chad, and I could be wrong, And you could be 100% right by saying we have to sweep them. But that's why I think if we were to lose in Lambeau on Sunday, I don't think it kills the mentality of this team like it would have in the past. I
don't know.
The best thing we got going for us after that is Cleveland at home.
Right.
The Bears have such a bugaboo with the Packers.
Yeah.
It's not like any other team. It's the oldest rivalry in the NFL. It's the two teams with the most NFL championships, the two teams with the most NFL Hall of Famers. The Bears,
1 and 2
kind of like Texas and Texas A&M.
The Bears are the founding cornerstone franchise of the NFL. They had to go up in the 20s and 30s, and Papa Bear had to beg Packer fans to go to the fucking game so they didn't lose their team. This is the game. This is the team. This is the team we have to beat to believe in ourselves. And I will be bought in if we can beat them at Lambeau, or if you guys say if we split, I will really be believing. But until we do that, it's really hard for me to really, really believe.
They've had our number. Like I said, it's very similar to, like I mentioned earlier, with Texas and Texas A&M. It seems like even when we know we're the better team, we struggle with Green Bay. And yes, we did split with them last year, but we should have won both games. Right. And we didn't,
Yeah.
Should if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle.
Yep.
None of that matters.
Yeah.
But I do think it's the scoreboard that matters, and I agree. We should have, but we didn't. So
right.
if we should have beat them in both games this year, but we don't, that doesn't mean shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
But I will say, and Ed, I think you can agree with this, because I don't care whether it's the Bears or whoever it is. When you put 281 yards on the roster, and I think we would all agree, Philadelphia has the scariest roster on both sides of the ball in the NFL. Something's wrong with them. The defense spends a lot of time on the field. Whatever the case may be, the offense just isn't very good. But when you put 281 yards on a team, whoever it is, it's like, whoa. And I watched the game, and then I went and watched the clips. The thing that impresses me the most is how we're blocking those runs.
Oh.
They were taking Carter, and they were absolutely blowing him up. He doesn't get blown up.
No.
And they were blowing him off the line of scrimmage with double teams, the walls coming, the tight ends flying in there. That's the part that impressed me, because the thing that the Bears have been so weak at lately is running the football. Ed, what's Minnesota's problem? One of them.
We ain't got time for Minnesota.
No, right. But what I'm saying is they can't run the football. Minnesota
they just don't commit to it.
Well, yeah, whatever the case may be, they're not running the football. Chicago, if you'd have told me this before the game, I'd have been like, oh my God, we're going to win. Chicago ran the ball 47 times against the Super Bowl champion Eagles. 47 times. And being a Bears fan from the Walter Payton days, I love watching the road graders up front just eat. And my God, we were eating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part about me where I'm like, that's why we're going to be in games. Because we can run the football.
The weekly
the Minnesota guy last year.
I told you, Eric, you need to get a thing. You can just a big bear roaring, and you can just throw it up whenever he starts crying. You just throw it up.
Chad, you mean this?
Yeah, but you need to have sound effect with it. You have to listen to that stupid horn.
Right.
Cultural appropriation of my Viking people.
Hey, she roared. You hear that?
There you go. Okay, next topic. Yeah, that would definitely be Ed. Or this. All right. Mike Tomlin. I think it's time. I know we've talked about this in the past, and I think it was you, Chad, that said they can't get rid. I mean, Mike Tomlin's a good coach. They won't. And I think Ed said, in my lifetime, I have known Chuck Noll, Cowher, and Tomlin. That's it.
That's it.
You know? But I think Ed said that, and Chad's like, they're not getting rid of him. He's still a good coach. I'd take him in a heartbeat, I think is what you said, Chad. But is it now time?
No, we're good.
Yeah, we're good now. Definitely now.
The teams will be lining up to get him.
Yeah,
If he leaves Pittsburgh, it's just I don't think it has anything to do with his coaching style, their current roster, whatever. Sometimes you just need a fresh start, and I think they just need a new spark.
They need a quarterback. Let's be honest. It's a quarterback-driven league. They need a quarterback.
And I think, and Chad, would you agree with this? I think it would be good for both Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh if Tomlin had a fresh start somewhere and Pittsburgh had a fresh start with whoever that might be. I mean, Pittsburgh's not a bad franchise, but my God, what have they been the last 10 years? 9 and 7 with 16 games.
They've been to Brett's point, they've been just good enough not to be able to draft a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's been their major hiccup. Yes, I think at this point it would be good for a parting of ways, mutual parting of ways.
Yeah,
and maybe Tomlin goes to Penn State. Anyway, I think to both teams. I think the Steelers are you get that. What did Marty Schottenheimer and Big Red both say when Big Red left Philly? They both said when Schottenheimer left the Browns and when Reed left Philly, they both said the same thing. My message was stale. They weren't hearing it anymore.
Right.
Somebody else. And for the betterment of the team, I think it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And I think that probably holds true for Tomlin and the Steelers.
Yeah.
But
who are they going to get? Nobody would have picked Tomlin when they hired Tomlin.
Right.
They're very good at this. They're very good at this, Jay.
Minnesota had a chance to hire him, and they didn't.
Yeah. That's good for him.
How long has Tomlin been there now? How long has his tenure been?
Well, he won a Super Bowl. Was it 2 years into it with Roethlisberger? And Roethlisberger's been gone for – when did Pittsburgh win it with Roethlisberger?
That was the Seattle Super Bowl, wasn't it? They played Seattle and Sean Alexander.
Yeah. Was that
how long ago was that?
We only had these things at our fingertips. You could tell us.
Yeah, figure it out, Chad. Usually you're typing right away.
Yeah. He's been there 18 seasons.
Yeah, 18 seasons.
I mean, it is. It is time. It's time.
Yeah.
He was 34 years old when they hired him.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the question becomes is who out there currently could come in and fill the shoes for what they're looking for? Because let's face it, Pittsburgh's not looking for a 3 or 4 year gap head coach. They're looking for the 20-year head coach. Is there anybody out there that would be able to live up to that kind of an expectation?
Who knows? Bill Cowher was a linebacker coach on Marty Schottenheimer's Cleveland Browns, and Mike Tomlin was a defensive back coach for your Minnesota Vikings.
Right.
They weren't.
You just don't see Pittsburgh hiring some young geeky pencil neck analytic guy.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, you just don't see him hiring an analytics guy in Pittsburgh.
They will hire a leader.
Yeah, they will hire a tough
Leader.
guy. You know that because that's kind of the city. You know,
Right.
And they'll be looking for somebody like that. You know, a Mike Vrabel type.
Now, Mike Vrabel, oh yeah, but there's no way they're letting him get out of New England. But a type like Mike Vrabel,
yes, a type like him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a Pittsburgh. But here's my argument. I've said this before.
I don't think they hire a retrad coach.
No,
they'll hire possibly a coordinator, but I mean for their last two hires, Cowher and Tomlin, they hired positional coaches who were young leaders who could motivate people, and I think that's what they will do. Who that is, I don't know. I don't know all the position coaches in the NFL. I have no clue, but you know who it could be, and he's got a Steeler history. Is a guy who's coaching the wide receivers in Chicago and doing a great job, Antoine Randall, former Steeler.
Al Harris could be one too.
So you never know. But I think it's time for them to split to finish this conversation.
Yeah, I definitely do. Anything else to add to the Tomlin? Next one. Chiefs, Ravens, or both in the playoffs?
Definitely not both. Both of them have got so many chinks in their armor right now.
What do you think, Chad?
Chiefs are definitely out, and you know me, I hate the Ravens, so I'm hoping the Ravens are out as well. But there's the Chiefs are wore out, man. I was talking to the big boss at work. He's been a Chiefs fan his whole life, season ticket holder, and he's like, you know what? I got 3 Super Bowls. If you'd have told me I was going to get 3 Super Bowls, I'd have told you I'll be satisfied. He goes, I'm happy. And I was like, he goes, we've played a whole extra season the last few years compared to most other teams.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, yeah, you guys get a higher pick. You get a longer rest for the off season. And then you finally get motivated to shed some of these old guys that you need to move on from.
Yeah.
Kelsey, Jones, whoever else. It's time to move on.
Is there any chance, Ed, that the Bengals catch the Ravens and potentially a team with a losing record wins the AFC?
Well, I think a team with a losing record could win that division, but I don't think it's going to be Cincinnati. I think the Chiefs are out. I think they're done. You can't take a team that's 6-6. They've shown all season that they're a 500 team at best. And all of a sudden you think realistically they're going to run the table the last 5 games. I mean, Andy Reid said, he's going to tickle our tonsils? Is that what he said he was going to do?
Yeah.
Good luck with that, to all of a sudden be able to turn the switch like that. I mean, they've got their work cut out for them this Sunday.
Yeah. With
the defense they got to go up. But I think probably the Ravens are going to get in, but it's not going to be.
Yeah. How do they
it's not going to be. It's not going to be by anything that they've done to earn it. I could very well see them going into playoffs with an 8-9 or an 9-8 record.
I agree.
Yeah. Cincinnati's too far.
I mean, somebody's got to win the division. And Cincinnati's in too big of a hole. Pittsburgh is they just can't get out. They just can't do anything.
And now you've got Aaron Rodgers that started throwing. Last week he come about as close to start throwing players under the bus.
Yeah.
This week they talk about the fact that on his birthday, he invited all the wide receivers and the tight ends over to his house, not to celebrate his birthday, but to go over their pass plays for this coming weekend. So he's basically
he waits till now to start being a leader.
Yeah. Yeah, he waits till now.
He done stopped. He finally done stopped smoking whatever the hell he was smoking the last few years.
But yep, he invites the.
But did he not look like a beaten man after the game this last week?
Oh yeah,
he looked like a throwback quarterback from 1979.
He did.
And what they didn't show, they showed the replay, but they didn't do a close-up of it, is when he got sacked from the backside, it showed his left wrist kind of get drove into the ground a little bit. And I don't think it was a sack. I think he got rid of the ball. But when he got knocked to the ground, you saw him roll over and grab that wrist like he was
on
in
fire.
dog dead pain right there. And it's like, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it through the rest of the season.
And this is the last season. You could see the finality on his face this weekend.
Yeah, I think this weekend was probably that game where he's like, this is it.
Yeah.
He looked like he was a wreck.
Ed, you know why the Steelers just haven't performed this year? The real reason why, Ed, because they haven't been playing Caleb Johnson. I mean, the all-world Iowa Hawkeye running back who's gonna change the face of the NFL.
Know, right? I know.
Oh my goodness! I mean, it's just right there. Plain as the boron on your face. I mean, it's just right there.
I don't know. I can't put it together. I can't put two. I mean, but Jay brings up a good point about Mac Jones. But Jay, I'll disagree with you. I think there's a real shot he ends up in Minnesota.
He signed a 2-year deal. He's under contract. They got to trade.
Oh,
they got to trade him.
They can trade him.
But Ed, don't you have JJ McCarthy?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What are you looking to give up on JJ McCarthy?
Got to bring somebody in to put a little heat on him. His life. If you're JJ McCarthy and you was on the sideline watching that game last weekend, did you have any reason to fear your starting job whatsoever?
Hey, so I saw a post about that. In JJ McCarthy's last game, he had a QBR rating of 34.6, I think. Max Brosmer turned in a 32.3. If you were to spike the ball every time, your QBR rating would be 39. Listen, at this point, Ed, the reason it's so funny, and listen.
Well, in all honesty, if heads don't roll after the season,
then they should.
Because to go into a season to have JJ McCarthy as your starter, which is okay if you want to make that decision, but you got to have a backup it's a worthy backup, a veteran of some kind, to go into the season with 2 rookie quarterbacks is just, I mean, someone's head's got to roll, whether it's Kwesi.
What you mean, like the Bears did?
No,
some head's got to roll for
Ed,
the quarterback room for the Vikings.
This is on Kevin O'Connell. I guarantee you that he may not lose his job, but JJ McCarthy is on Kevin O'Connell. So if heads should roll, Kevin O'Connell's head should roll. His won't. They ain't going to fire him. That's the head should roll.
McCarthy's on Kevin O'Connell, and I can't disagree with you on that. My biggest thing is the backup quarterback.
Look at Jay. Look what Jay posted. Put that up.
Let's see what Jay posted.
Oh God, no.
I hear Russell Wilson.
No, we'll probably pay him. We probably
Jay with the troll of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for Jay.
$55 million a year, 4-year contract with $180 million guaranteed or something.
But yes, you are correct, Ed. When you go from, and we all know what Sam Darnold's flaws were last year. Chad pointed them out all year long. But the thing that is, it's gotten to the point, and when the Bears are bad, I mean, my dad's been a Viking fan his whole life. I root for the Vikings because I want my dad to actually see something good. I do. I'll never root for the Packers. I don't care if it's like I'll never do that. And even the Lions, when the Lions got good, I'm like, hey, you know what? Lions fans have suffered long enough. Like, I'm glad.
1 year I gave them, and then I quit.
Well, last year when the Vikings won 14-3, they brought in Daniel Jones as a. I mean, Daniel Jones isn't a Pro Bowl quarterback by any means, but it was at least a veteran presence to have as a backup. So if Sam Darnold goes down, they got something. This year, their quarterback room was horrible.
Right.
You didn't need it. Whoa. You had JJ.
See, that's
JJ
the problem.
McCarthy, 9.
So what happened?
You guys need to start referring to him the proper way. It's 9. You refer to him as 9.
You got that picture? You got that picture of him, Eric?
So when he starts when he starts the season off with a high ankle sprain, who was the second quarterback? They had
Carson Wentz.
Look.
Yeah, there's your veteran presence, buddy.
Listen, Ed.
Hey, he was. I mean, until he got to where he couldn't play anymore because of his shoulder and everything. At least he was out there doing something.
Right.
I tell you what, the guy literally sacrificed his life. Just about.
This last weekend against Seattle was unwatchable.
Yeah.
You had a defense out there that was kicking some ass. They played a hell of a game. The defense did. Unfortunately,
when I heard the stat that you just said, that if he would have spiked the ball on every pass play, he would have had a higher QBR. I lost my shit, guys.
The last two games
lost it
for Minnesota. JJ's last game and Brosmer's last game. If you would have spiked the ball every time, would have had a higher QBR than those last two games. So what I'm saying is, and the thing of it is, Ed, like I said, I will root for the Vikings if the Bears are just totally dog nasty. But it's gotten to the point where it's so laughable because if you look at Minnesota's roster, my God, you insert any quarterback into that roster, and Minnesota is vying for the playoffs.
They put together a roster with the idea of a rookie. They were taking advantage of the rookie contract. And they put together a roster that basically the given is they thought McCarthy would perform as a rookie.
But Ed, what did I say? If I knew this about J.J. McCarthy, if I knew this, Holstein, Iowa, not involved in anything, but just watch the kid play in college. He was a handoff professional that needed to throw 2 or 3 passes a game. That's not the NFL.
So he was Gino Torretta.
Well, he was who we thought he was.
Yes, and what I'm saying is, it's one thing if I could look at McCarthy from game 1. He's played 6 or 7 games this year, and he's been hurt in between. If I looked at game 1 to his last game and said, okay, you know what? It is a little rough, but I do see he's improving, maybe here, and here. He's regressed. And he hasn't got
he had in his mind that JJ was going to work out.
Yeah. This picture right here, Ed.
When JJ
This is Kevin O'Connell. This is what Kevin O'Connell has done to your team by putting all that faith in J.J. McCarthy. I said it when they drafted him. Well, whatever. I said it when they drafted him, and that's who you have to owe because that is on Kevin O'Connell. He has blown your ship up because of the faith they had in J.J. McCarthy or maybe himself or whatever it was. You have a playoff roster. But Minnesota has so screwed up the quarterback position that it's a dumpster. Justin Jefferson has totally checked out. Like he is done.
When I told you in the preseason that they weren't playing him and that was a sign they didn't believe in him and they're hiding him, looks like I was a little bit prophetic.
I mean,
if they were, why would they have been hiding him if their idea was he was going to be the starter?
Because they wanted to keep the hype there until the season started, and then they
And
were going
hope
to
to
pray
God.
somehow it was going to come together. But they didn't want the season to start with all this negativity and calling for everybody's head.
yeah.
Because you are built to win now, and you're rolling with 9.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do. I've never been a believer in J.B. McCarthy. If they'd have drafted him in the 3rd round, I'd be like, hey, he's a 3rd-round quarterback. You know, you do what you do. But they took him in the 1st round off of a Michigan team that handed the ball off 85% of the time.
So answer me this. The whole first season that Caleb was quarterback in Chicago, did he have his ups and downs? Did he have his games where he did really shitty?
Oh, yeah, ups and downs.
Okay, so how many games is there in a regular season? 17? He's had how many starts? 5? 5 or 6? I mean, the guy hasn't even played half a season yet.
This is what Caleb's look like. This is what JJ's has look like. And I'm going to put my hand below the screen because I can't get low enough to where his last game that he played. I mean, and you watch the games, Ed. I know you watch every game except for when you turn it off because you can't take it anymore.
Which has been the last 2 weeks.
Right. But what I'm saying is you have to see it too. You have to see that, man, okay, you're right, Ed. He's only started 6 games.
J.J. McCarthy's rookie card is going pretty reasonable right now.
Yeah.
Ed, you could have had Fashanu, who's starting at offensive tackle for the Jets and playing pretty decent. You could have had Bo Nix. You could have had Brock Bowers. You could have had you have Dallas Turner. You could have had Jared Verse.
You remember how high it was on Jared Verse?
But I mean, what did they see in J.J. McCarthy that they didn't see in Bo Nix? You know,
they sold it. They sold into he was a winner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. And you know what?
Ask the Bears how that worked out with Doug Flutie.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Richard Dent still has nightmares of that.
I can give you all sorts of winners that the Bears drafted that didn't work out. I mean, you know, and the thing of it is, like I said, I don't have the same hatred toward Minnesota that Chad does. I root for Minnesota when the Bears are back, which has been a lot lately. But they have absolutely, like I said, and this is in Kevin O'Connell's lap, they have absolutely sabotaged the season. I mean, because I'm not even seeing this from McCarthy. I'm not even seeing this. Has been just.
How would you like to go through a season where chances are they may not win another game?
Oh,
and they've got over $30 million they've got to drop off the roster because they're over the cap.
That's what I'm talking about. Is they are a team who's sitting at 4-8 right now, and they are the highest over the cap, I think, of any other team in the NFL. So what gets weaker? You know, Addison's gone.
Yeah, they won't be able
to sign him. You're going to lose some defensive pieces.
Yeah, they'll lose some pieces on the defense.
They got any good? They got any good pass rushers?
Yeah, Greenard he would be a good one.
So you do have a first round draft pick this year, so that helps in 26. You have a second rounder and a third. So I mean, you could hope that
the problem is we're probably going to be somewhere in the 8 to 12 range for draft pick. And so if you decided you wanted to go and try a different quarterback, they don't have the draft stock to be able to move up to get somebody.
Do you go to do you go to the Raiders or do you go to Tennessee and you say, hey, we'll give you our all-world wide receiver for a couple of first-round picks, Justin Jefferson. Do you do that?
They really don't have a choice right now.
Well, but
Jury's
Minnesota,
not
I think
Jury's not on Justin Jefferson, but if they don't come up with a solution real fast at quarterback, and when I say real fast, I'm talking about in the offseason. That's why I'm saying Mac Jones, if you look at the opportunities out there for free agent quarterbacks or trades, there really isn't a whole lot out there.
But I would argue that Mac Jones would be orchestrating Minnesota into a playoff spot right now. I believe that.
I would take him.
So
I would take him.
So the top quarterback prospects going into this draft are the quarterback from Oregon, Dante Moore. I was trying to pull up just quarterbacks, but wouldn't give me just quarterbacks.
Is it Beck from Miami?
No, you don't want that.
No.
You don't want that.
Yeah, I mean Minnesota has 100% derailed their franchise on the gamble right now of JJ McCarthy. One, because they're so far over the salary cap, so they're going to lose pieces. He hasn't grown. You know, it's not even, like I said, a roller coaster. It has been a nosedive. I mean,
I would give him a few more games, but it don't look good.
They even talked about Arizona's quarterback, and I'm like, no.
Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
You talking about the one that's 4 foot tall?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They talk about him being a possibility, and it's like you got to bring in somebody like a Mac Jones. Is it the best? I mean, it's probably the best they can do to at least bring in somebody that can.
I mean, with your defense, Mac Jones, I think, is 11-6 quarterback, Eric.
Yeah.
11-6, 12-5 with Mac Jones with your roster right now.
So I just found it. So I just here's what I found from NFL Draft Buzz. The top quarterback prospects: number 1, Brett Ty Simpson; 2, Dante Moore from Oregon; 3, Mendoza from Indiana; 4, Nussmeier from LSU, and then Mavaya from USC, Mateer from Oklahoma. That's the top 6.
No.
So I don't know how excited
I
get about any of those guys, but
yeah, that's the bad part for Minnesota is they're in the draft cycle.
Alabama quarterbacks used to have a great record.
All right. We need to get off Minnesota.
Before Ed throws up in his mouth, we need to get off of Minnesota. KJ took my power rankings and I didn't have them on here.
Before we catch a venereal disease, we need to get off of
Minnesota. I'll go through my power rankings real quick, even though I don't have them. There they are. I went New England, Denver, LA, Seattle. Philly drops clear down into the 5th spot. I don't know about the Bills. 49ers, Bears, Packers, Colts, Lions, Tampa Bay, Chargers, and the Jags. In the hunt, Ravens, Chiefs, Carolina.
I still say LA is number 1.
Well,
they went 3 times. They went what? 3 times though. They had a bad game.
Well, I get it, but it's a bad game against currently a non-playoff team. if LA loses to, I don't know, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, whatever, I'm like, I would probably keep LA there and just move San Francisco up. But currently it's to a non-playoff team. So I feel like they had to be penalized for that in the power rankings. Do I still think LA is probably your best bet for the Super Bowl? Yeah. But I don't rank these based on who I think can go to the Super Bowl, otherwise they would look different. So that's why LA was penalized. Do I think that by the end of the year there's going to be an NFC team on top of the rankings? Probably. But again, you've got 11-2 Patriots and you've got a 10-2 Broncos team. They just keep winning and keep winning and keep winning. I think the NFC side is a gauntlet compared to the AFC side, but nonetheless, they lost. I still think even with all of Seattle's flaws as far as turnovers, I wouldn't want to see Seattle in the playoffs because if they don't turn the ball over, they're a dangerous, dangerous team. And I know it's cool for us. Yeah. And I know it's cool for us Bears fans to see the Bears as number 1 seed this week, but let's face it, they're not going to be there. But
it sure doesn't look bad.
It doesn't look bad. You're right about that. But, Philadelphia, they are flawed. Their offense is awful. Saquon Barkley is a shell of himself. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. I thought he was a quarterback. He cannot win a game with his arm. He can't do it. No. He just cannot do it. Saquon Barkley was the ultimate cover for Jalen Hurts last year. And Saquon, either they're not blocking well for him or Saquon just doesn't have that step like he had last year, whatever it is.
He don't have the legs.
Like Chad said, I think Chad called at the beginning of the year. Saquon Barkley's not going to do what he did last year because they ran him like a rented mule last year. Well, it's proving to be correct. Saquon has either lost a step or they're up front, they're not as good, whatever the case may be. Tampa Bay is so banged up. I don't know how big a threat they are. Carolina could catch them. And Tampa Bay might even miss the playoffs. I think the teams you worry about, I would not want to play San Francisco in that 7 seed spot. I think San Francisco could end up being higher than that. San Francisco could end up being the 5 seed. Green Bay, even though I just cannot stand them, Green Bay could end up being higher. Green Bay could end up winning the division. But noticeably, I think the only team that you say does not have a fatal flaw is LA. Their defense is good. They had one of those weeks. Like you said, they flew across time zones, all that kind of stuff.
The Rams' Achilles heel is Matthew Stafford's back.
Right.
They have to keep him upright.
Correct. But as far as a flaw, if he's healthy,
no,
they really don't have one.
No.
The Bears, to me, their biggest flaw is the defense, even though the defense has played really well here as of late, and we are getting healthy. It is what it is.
It's turnover or bust.
It's turnover or bust. That's the problem. Yeah. And if a team and Green Bay doesn't turn over a lot, so this might be a bad matchup for us. We'll see.
And our kicker scares me.
Yeah. Because we can't kick a field goal over 50 yards.
But I tell you what, the punter, I like him.
Elite.
Because that's something Iowa can produce. They can produce punters.
Punter you.
Punter
but
you.
Yeah, so those are the flaws, and I think LA has the least amount of flaws by comparison to the other team.
I just point something out real quick, and because I'm an apologist, I admit it. In the biggest game of his entire life, 17-22, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, a rating of 119.7, 11 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. 3 touchdowns, almost 300 yards of total offense. He can play.
Who are you talking about?
Jalen Hurts.
I was about to say, they're Jalen Hurts' stats.
Yeah, I know you're.
What that out at as about 22 passes. You get him up to 30, 35 passes, and good luck.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I'm telling you.
those 22 passes are extremely effective when you've got the threat of Saquon Barkley back there.
Man, look, I'm a Bama fan. I like Jalen. I love Jalen. It is what it is.
But when you take away the threat of Saquon Barkley and he has to win it 100% on his own, I mean, what was the rushing yards for Saquon Barkley this week? 56. He had 13 attempts.
Half of that was what was that? Probably 80 yards was on the last drive, and I think he went 8 for 9 or something like that. I mean,
this super intelligent, smart, witty, handsome guy predicted that at the beginning of the season.
I already gave you your flowers. You don't need to say it again.
I want some more.
All right. We got to get to pick'ems. We're running late, but we're ahead of last week, so
we're always running late.
No. First game, Dallas 6-5-1 at Detroit 7-5. Detroit is a 3-point favorite. I'm going to use this again, Chad. This is a must-win for both teams. Why is it a must-win for both teams? Because there's a better than outside chance whoever loses this game is out of the playoffs. So it is a must-win for both teams. Right, Chad?
I don't know. Are they out of the playoffs? Maybe. Maybe they lose this game and they go on to win their next games and they end up 10-6. I don't know.
No, there's a good chance whoever loses this game is not going to the postseason.
Yeah. So I just strictly went on who's playing better right now, and it's Dallas. So I took Dallas.
Ed's got the Cowboys. Chad?
Yeah, give me the Pokes.
Chad with the Pokes. Brett?
How about them Cowboys?
Let's see if KJ sent me his picks.
We got that wrong, Ed.
KJ went with the Cowboys. And if I remember correctly, Brett, you and I took the Cowboys last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, correct?
Yep, we did.
Yeah, and we were the only ones. Everybody else rode with the Chiefs. I got to stick with the Cowboys. Sticking with the Cowboys. It makes me throw up in my mouth, but I am.
He's not going to. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, don't give me that, Ed. I varied last week.
He's in prevention mode.
I varied last week and I picked up a game. Who was 9-5 last week? I was. Don't give me that crap. Next game, Indianapolis. 8-4, 1.5-point favorites at Jacksonville. Indianapolis is reeling a skosh lately. They have fumbleitis issues. They are taking on water. Brett, who you got?
Jacksonville is just smoke and mirrors. And
they're great one week and they're bad the next.
But they're smoke and mirrors, but somehow they win every week.
I know it.
My God.
Brett, who you got?
The Colts are falling apart. Give me the Jaguars.
Chad? Well, we were ahead.
This is tough. Give me the Colts. Give me the Colts, and I don't like it.
KJ took the Colts. I am taking Jacksonville. There you go, Ed. Take the Colts because you're trying to hedge your bets.
I'm picking Jacksonville.
You are? All right.
Figure out how to win every week. I haven't figured it out, but.
All right. Next game. Pittsburgh 6-6 at Baltimore 6-6. Another must-win game for the two teams in there. I am taking Baltimore because I just think Pittsburgh they're just old. They got the highest paid defense in the league, and they just are not able to do it. Aaron Rodgers, like I said, he looks like a mass unit. He's still trying to play. I've got Baltimore. KJ's got Baltimore. Who you got, Ed?
I got Baltimore as well. Pittsburgh is done. They're over with.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Chad?
be surprised if they didn't win another game or two the rest of the year.
Chad?
Yeah, I don't like it. Give me the Ravens.
Brett?
Yep, the Fighting Derrick Henrys.
The next game on the slate, 9-3 Chicago at 8-3-1 Green Bay. Green Bay is a 6.5-point favorite on Sunday.
No respect. No respect.
I am taking Green Bay.
Put me down.
Well, I'll let you think about that. I got to go through here just to make sure we keep up. Henry and Big Mike took Dallas. Jay took Dallas. Hold on. Jay took the Jags, and Big Mike took the Jags. Henry took Indianapolis. Big Mike took Baltimore. Henry took Baltimore. Jay took Baltimore. Jay's got the Pack. Henry's got the Bears. Who you got, Chad?
Packers.
Brett?
The Fighting Cheeseheads by 50. Chicago need not even show up.
What'd KJ do?
He took the Packers. Here's your chance, Ed.
No, I'm taking Green Bay, but like I said, they only need a split. So if Green Bay wins this game, Chicago fans shouldn't lose their freaking minds because they play them in another couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Big Mike's got Chicago by a field goal. Henry's got Chicago. Jay has the Pack. Next game, 7-5 Houston, upstart Houston, against Kansas City, 6-6. It's at Kansas City. Kansas City is a 3.5-point favorite. Of course, KJ has the Texans. Chad, who do you got?
They are gonna just rub the tip up against it, just to tease their fans. It's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are gonna win this game.
Oh, he's going with the Chiefs again.
And then pull it away. Yep.
Brett?
Houston coming to the cold.
Houston's, they're a dome team, Southern team. They're going to the cold, and I don't think Kansas City's going to make the playoffs. But it reminds me of that old Tom Petty song, "I Won't Back Down." They're going to go out fighting. Give me Kansas City.
I, however, love defense, and the Texans' defense is monstrous. And they are going to be motivated to stick a fork in Kansas City's season, and I am going to be rooting every second for it. Give me the Texans. Ed? You get burnt by you take Kansas City again?
I got Kansas City.
Oh my God! I hope they burn you again. You didn't learn anything from last week?
Yeah.
Big Mike has Houston. Henry has Houston. Oh, Jay, you took Kansas City, man. We'll have to revisit that next week. Defense travels, boys, and those. I can't believe you're going against the boys.
You know why Jay took Kansas City? Because Kansas City is his Bill's daddy. That's why.
Oh my God! Last game, Philly, who was just defeated by the Chicago Bears, 8-4. Is a 3-point favorite at the Chargers, 8-4. It's the Monday night game. KJ took the Chargers. Ed, who you got in this toss-up game?
I think I just changed my mind. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think LA Chargers are a different team when they're at home. when they got to go on the road 3 time zones.
Yeah, but they might have. They got a good. They got a good chance that they're playing
Herbert's hurt, though.
Trey Lance. Trey Lance.
I'll take Philly.
Oh, man.
I got to go back to Philly.
Henry's got the Chargers. I can't put what Jay replied to you, Brett. I don't think I can put that on the screen.
Kind of like Alabama is Auburn's daddy, Jay.
Oh, my God.
What is that, 6 in a row now, Jay? Was that 6 in a row?
Brett, who you got?
Boy, if Philadelphia loses, those fans and everybody will be reeling, and they'll be throwing stuff at the head coach's house next week. Give me Philadelphia.
Chad?
Yeah, give me Philly. I think Chargers are going to have to start Trey Lance, which I will be interested to watch and see how that goes. But give me the Eagles.
There you go, Brett. We will talk, buddy. Yeah, I'm with you, Chad. I didn't want to divulge the information like you did because I thought somebody would be dumb enough to take the Chargers if Trey Lance was starting. Way to help Ed out. I've got Philly. They can't lose 3 in a row.
We
picked on him so
Chargers.
much. I thought we should. We picked on him so much. I thought we should.
Listen, do your own research. Don't be helping guys out with picks. Come on.
The funny thing is I knew that. That's what happens when you're 61. You start forgetting that kind of stuff.
All right, boys. That is it. I mean, that was a lot tonight. College was pretty interesting. The Bears are still winning. Now, next week when they end up losing, it's going to be a little more somber. I mean, I'm still on the Bears train, Ed, but
yeah, we're going to have to figure something out. Start at 7 or something because
Just remember that, Ed. Good, better, best, bud. Never let it rest till your good gets better and your better gets best. That needs to be our mantra on the show. It's gonna be our new mantra on the show, Ed. But if the Bears do figure out a way,
a nice Bears polo.
Yeah, Ed can wear a Bears polo, so he can have a team to root for this year. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I see, he just lifted his eyebrows. But then there's this. If we lose that game, this is going to be every single Bears fan on every single Bears social media site.
It's time to hit the panic button.
Yeah.
Real quick, I told you guys my brother is a horrible bandwagon fan, and he has given me shit for being a Bears fan for 40 years. And he went to Baumhauer's with me the other day when we was playing Pittsburgh. And the Bears were playing bad like they usually have stretches during every game. And he looked at me and said, started laughing and said, you just need to pick a better team. You need to learn to pick a better team. Well, his current bandwagon team is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Uh-oh.
And, he ducked me for as long as he could duck me without me showing up to his house. And finally, after all these years, I said, you know what, bro? You might need to learn how to pick teams a little bit better in the future.
Yeah. I you know what? I've had to tell my boys this because, unfortunately for them, they were born in an era where, Kale's old enough. Well, he was just born. He's not old to remember, but, when the Bears went to the Super Bowl. He was born in 05. They go to the Super Bowl in 06. Ed, the Super Bowl is that game, the last game of the year that 2 teams play in.
I remember the 70s.
I wonder if you remember.
On your forehead, you have this huge handprint right there.
But anyway, so sorry, Ed. That just came to me as it was coming out of my mouth. So, anyway, my boys are not old enough to remember when the Bears were really good. And so my youngest came up to me, goes, Jesus, he goes, I'm gonna have to find another. This is last year. He goes, I'm gonna have to find another team. I'm like, listen, I did not raise bandwagon kids.
Yeah.
You are a fan of a freaking team. You do not jump just to jump. Like, you are a Bears fan the rest of your freaking life. That's the way it goes. And it's the ups and the downs, and everything goes, everything's reciprocal. You're bad for a while, you're good. You're bad, you're good, whatever. Unless, you're a franchise that hasn't figured out.
Male cheerleaders, you stick with them.
Yeah, you stick with them. And so I have zero respect for those people that are bandwagoners.
I told my brother, I said, man, it's a lack of character. I said, you just a straight up sorry person.
Yep. All right. Anything else for the good of the cause? Anybody?
Have we beat up Ed bad enough? That's the only question.
We need to look on a costume site. Maybe they have that Viking male cheerleader costume. We get it to Ed. Ed could wear it on the show.
I swear. Chad's got a fetish going on.
I have. You do.
Chad's the only one that keeps bringing that up. So
it's because it's too good.
We got to get out of here. Let's go.
Yeah, Jay, I will take the Bills over the Bengals. Ed chooses the games. It's not my fault. So there must be more of a spread than we wanted to put up there. So it's
no, Bengals. Who dat?
Uh-oh.
Who dat?
All right. Next Wednesday. I hope we come back next Wednesday and we're talking again about a big Bears victory. Bear down, baby. See you next week.
And that's the bottom line.